So we're gonna go check out Santa Monica, which has recently been shortened, and see how it feels. This is a really cool little airport in real life, and X-Plane did a relatively good job of showing, you know, the look and feel of the airport. Some community support helped with shortening the runways once those were actually officially shortened. Right now we're over Bologna Creek and Marina del Rey, and those all, of course, look great. Like all of these airports, I'm really giving a lot of weight to the surrounding area, the surrounding scenery, the departure, arrival feel is really part of what sells the airport for me. What's up, Gabriel? Welcome aboard. Thank you for the host. Welcome. There's the golf course that Harrison Ford famously crash landed in. I don't know why this thing is like so out of trim. Like that's normal trim. I have like full back pressure on. So this thing must be like completely out of trim. I guess that's what happens when you start already in the air. It is not designed to do that. So we're crossing over Santa Monica right now. Let's see what it looks like from the air. Old Santa Monica. All right. So the runway has not been shortened either by lines or physically removed runway. It's actually been bulldozed. So let's see what it looks like landing here. We're crossing over the 10 freeway. This is the 10-405 interchange. We've got Westwood, UCLA right in front of us, and then Hollywood, Beverly Hills beyond that. And then even further beyond that, we've got downtown LA. Yeah, the visibility out of this thing is pretty awesome. So let's see if these big ass wings like to slow down. Okay. All right, so far this looks pretty good. Other than obviously the runways being completely wrong. And I am also probably going to have way too much energy landing this thing. But let's see if it'll slow down with some trim. I might land it probably pretty long. Oh, that approach looks pretty good. Again, without the runway change, that looks pretty good. And Santa Monica is one of the simpler in terms of layout airports. And the runway length, I hope, is something that's pretty easy to fix. And we're coming in at 95 in a DA40. That's not going to end well. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty poor. That's pretty poor. Whoa, sensitive on the elevator. So what I said about full stop taxi backs was a lie. We are going to absolutely full stop taxi back here. That's pretty bad. I'm just going to turn off here. So Santa Monica is one of the simpler airports, and unlike someplace like Torrance, that apparently has not translated into a good scenery at all. The lines are really weird. We've got some funky lines. At one point, they did allow you to just pull off this runway at any point, which must have been nice, but also kind of weird. Captain Dubs, thank you for following. Welcome aboard. $300 version of ForeFlight tells you the weather information, such as the digital ATIS. Yeah, digital ATIS is really nice. This is not even close. That looks terrible. This is a one-story building, a little office right there. This is a much bigger tower right here. So yeah, that's pretty bad. And then the tower is missing again. The the really weird decision to make the auto-gen hangars be storage units with really tiny little doors. And we're going to run over all of these little taxiway lights. So this is a tricky one. It is kind of victim of a more recent runway update, and victim of meaning like the sim being out of date. So that is holding it back. There's no fence. I don't know why these sims can't just put a fence around the airport. It would make things so much better if you just put a fence in there. Just give me a fence and it won't look like that. Because that looks weird. Okay. I'm going to go into drone cam here. Captain Dubs, your hometown. They butchered it, dude. I'm sorry. So the new runway, I think, actually is 500 feet on each end. So half of the distance between the 1,000-foot marker and the end there is where the new runway begins. And they did bulldoze it. Surrounding terrain looks awesome. You got all the buildings out there that need to be there. We're going to take off and actually go check out the Fox Center, which is what was used for the Nakanishi Tower in Die Hard. But this is just bad. It's a simple enough airport where if you were based out of here, I could see it being kind of passable just because it's got one runway and you taxi and take off and okay, fine. But as soon as you take off, it looks awesome. And that's kind of what I'm noticing on a lot of these airports that are extra broken, is the ones that have recognizable surrounding sceneries do a better job at hiding or making the actual deficient airport scenery not that bad, a little bit more palatable. Because that looks great. I mean, you look out across the street and that looks awesome. Let's see if they have the restaurant across the street. It's not that far, is it? It's like a little restaurant museum, and I don't think they do. Yeah, this is a little bit broken. Okay. Yeah, that's not a great representation of Santa Monica. But it's not the worst thing ever. Pull up. Pull up. I mean, you guys that are from here, you know, Arnold, what do you think of that? It's pretty bad, but not the worst. Currently playing the game, but I can't turn with a WD when I'm flying. What do you turn? How do you turn in the air? Kid Fused, that is a pretty fundamental issue. You're either using a controller or a flight stick, yoke, or HOTAS that will connect to the plane. But yeah, that's a pretty fundamental issue. So that is, it's old Santa Monica, but so there's what the technology is doing behind the scenes. If you're not there, it's not there. So let's take off, and then we'll fly a left downwind and buzz the Nakatomi. What did I say before? Nakatomi. I'm with a mouse and keyboard. That is rough. You might be able to fly with that, but I would invest in a controller at the minimum, or a flight control. I wouldn't have any idea how to use a mouse and keyboard. All right, full power. There is centerline. We need a little bit of right rudder on this guy, but not a ton. What's it going to want to lift off at? There is 55, so I would rotate at 55 in a Cessna. Is it going to do it in this thing? It's a little sluggish even at 70. Jet A powered, I love that. Get that Jet A. Okay, so that took us a little bit off of runway heading. How does Harrison Ford's golf course look? Pretty thick with trees, but not too bad. Before we go to Nakatomi, let's go by the Santa Monica Pier. Yeah, PS4 controller will work, yeah. So where is the Santa Monica Pier? This is part of what makes these airports kind of passable, even if the airport itself is pretty weak, and that's the surrounding area. So here is Venice Beach and Santa Monica. Yeah, what are you talking about? Don't sink. Terrain. All right, let's see how this renders in here as we fly by. Okay, let's get a little bit offshore here and see if that improves things a little bit. PCH looks pretty good. It's a little bit rough, but that's not bad. The parking lots seem to not do well. It's there, but it's pretty rough. Yeah, this is pretty rough. Even the lifeguard towers are pretty rough. So it is there. If you're flying over that with any decent altitude, I think you'd be relatively happy with that. That is pretty rough as it is, though. All right, so let's parallel the 10 freeway and see if we can get to Nakatomi Plaza. It does look very GTA 5. GTA 5 actually looks better than that. Yeah, low level, it starts to fall apart a little bit. Low level. Nakatomi Plaza, and it is like Fox. Can't remember exactly what they call it, but it's like the Fox something building. All right, Santa Monica, the actual airport. We're going to give you the grade now. Santa Monica, you get, giving it the benefit of the doubt on the runway. Let's give it a D+, because I think it's easily fixable. That's a generous D+. Yeah, and then you get like away from the airport and you've got the staples clearly visible. I think I pulled off the freeway and I've been to that. There's a Vons right there that I've been to. Yeah, I've been to that Vons right there. That's pretty funny. Yeah, there's Westwood. UCLA is there. Pretty nice area. And there it is. Nakatomi. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. Yeah, I like that. That's really, really cool. This is actually UCLA, I think. Did I mistake that area for UCLA? Yeah, I think that was Westwood. This is the actual campus, I believe, or part of it. I'm not sure. Somebody who knows where UCLA is, let me know. But that is Santa Monica. So the airport, we're going to give it a B+. The surrounding terrain is obviously very good. Santa Monica Pier is pretty low. I am actually a little bit on the disappointed side of that that part. I was expecting a little bit better than that. All right, let's get full power going and climb up for our next victim. Thank you guys all for joining tonight. Just a little tour of the Southern California airports. If you're here because of Flight Sim 2020 and are new to aviation in general, thank you for checking this out. Captain Chill Flight, thank you for following. Welcome. And Bailey, thank you for the host. I appreciate it. This is the Discord link, so if you're interested in pursuing aviation even more, whether it's in the simulator or in real world or making the simulator into real world, that is a great community that can help make that happen. Tons of flight instructors and real world pilots of all levels. So give it a shot if you're into Discord. I think you'll find it useful, especially if you're learning, you're just getting into this simulator, because a lot of the concepts from the real planes will translate over into the sim. Maybe not necessarily everything right now, but it will definitely get to a point where you're needing the real world information in order to successfully complete a flight. So.